Easy ye, how are we?
Sean,
Why?
I got a microphone.
You're on a podcast the last 4+ years. You're not supposed to tell people you only got a microphone now. We use the microphone. If
Listen,
people have been wondering why my voice sometimes sounds louder, there's probably some people thinking, you know what? Sean's a bit full of himself. He makes him sound a bit louder in the podcast than you do.
Sean, you have three voices: an outdoor voice, an outdoor voice, and a louder outdoor voice. That's the only three voices you have. You were I won't even start, but you weren't great to live with, you know. You weren't.
Cheers, mate.
But at long last, I figured we crossed 75,000 downloads, and I thought I'll treat myself to a microphone. I
Fair
think
play. You waited that milestone before and you finally got that in. 206 episodes of the podcast, and you finally went. After me asking you nicely about it for the last couple of years.
Well, look, good things come to those who wait, Sean, and you've been very patient. But I thought, like, the podcast is actually growing quite rapidly, and I better invest. So
But
here we
thank
are.
you
So I
very
have a
much for that.
podcast.
My outdoor voice. I've got a voice that would almost drown you out on a racetrack. So I'm going to segue into. I was on Mondello racetrack for the first time there this past Thursday for session one of the Mondello 24. I'm doing in a couple of weeks. So there's four of us doing it. And cycling on a racetrack is class. We have Joanne Murphy coming to the podcast in a couple of weeks, and she did be talking about it. So I kind of got a little bit of a heads up on different things like that. And she was a ton of help. But there is like a little hill, which doesn't seem like a lot until you realize you're in a big open space and the wind coming at you. And it's like, my God, I need to draft and I need to draft fast because I am just getting lost out here. But it's pretty cool. And if anyone's thinking about it, they're not asking us to promote this or anything like that, but they do have four and 8 person teams for the Mondello coming up in June 21st, 22nd. But it sounds like unreal crack.
They're not paying us, but if they want to make a donation, like, they can fund the microphone I'm after buying. All donations welcome there, Mondello. But look, it sounds like a fantastic event. There's been a few things you've done I haven't been jealous of. One of them is Barry and John's that is coming up this weekend. And I'm not jealous of those kind of events. But the Mondello 24 seems to be one that will definitely tickle my fancy because it's a team.
Mm.
And obviously you guys are not going out to win, but you are going out to suffer a little bit and enjoy it a little bit and just see how far you go over 24 hours. And it just seems so cool. There's something about, and particularly with the Portugal Ironman, I'm great, I did an Ironman, but we got to cycle on the racetrack
Mm.
and it was just so cool. And even though I was 90 plus or whatever kilometers in, I was still taking the corners like I was Schumacher.
You see
Coming
the
over
little
the
ramp
sides,
things,
yeah,
whatever they're called.
taking the racing line and all like I was a hero. But that's what Mondello is going to give people. And Barry and John's obviously this weekend. It's a tent in the mountains. Bring your own hot water and Burko boilers, and it is a different kind of hard experience. This one you get to be in the pit lane, in the team things. You get to have your plugs, charge things. It's
I was
absolutely brilliant.
I was listening to an episode. Joanne sent me on a couple of episodes with people that done Mandela, and this is the part you're gonna love. One of the girls on it was talking about. It was like a Saturday night out because at 2:30 in the morning, I just finished her stint doing the cycle, and she's having a curry chip like next door because the cafe is open like throughout the night. Like so, it's like just in there, just going, what is going on in my life? Eating a curry chip, and away you go. Like, and you're properly set up in the pit. You've got your extension cables. You can bring your air fryers even if you wanted. Like everything is all set for you, whatever way you want to do to get yourself through. But like, I really am looking forward to the team element of it. And just kind of like pushing each other through over those 24 hours is really cool. And Barry and Johns was something I was supposed to do, but I had a little talk with myself in the mountains last month, and I'm like, if I did Barry and Johns, it is I may have got an extra lap or two because of how hilly it is, and seeing it's even hillier. It probably is a little bit hillier than elevation last month. So I was like, the 24-hour goal is not there, and I've been told twice after Backyard Ultra that if I did a more flatter race, I would have gotten 24 hours. So the goal now is to get flatter, longer races in, build up towards August and see where I'm at. And there's also the Wexford Running Festival on this weekend coming as well, where you do 1 hour, 3 hour, 6 hour, 12 hour, or 24-hour loops of Johnstown Estate down there. I've been told that's pretty flat, not that I've looked into it. Moving on to this week's episode of the Any Given Runday podcast. Who do we have?
This week is a great week, and we're taking ourselves back up to Dublin, but we are meeting Jennifer. Jennifer this week is a really, really inspirational person. Her story will speak for itself, but it's how people just get into running and what they can do. But this episode is really all about the community and what a community can do as well, and sport, and how important sport is for people. And this is something we've touched on over many different episodes, but this week is another really, really special episode. It's a great laugh. I laughed my head off in this one. I definitely did anyway. And Jennifer's just a fantastic personality to have on. And I can say not much more, because this is a really, really good episode.
And with that said, next week, Eric will learn to talk into the mic. That's it. Into this week's episode of the podcast. Let's go. So this week on the Any Given Runday podcast, we have coach and founder of Sheriff Street Running Club, Jennifer Fay. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. How are you getting on?
Thanks for having me, lads. I'm delighted to be on.
Jennifer, I did my first hill session this week, and it's just one of those mad, ironic things that you are like right now doing this recording from the back of Phoenix Park, where I used to make people run up and down those hills all the time. Like, I remember that. Not fondly for me sprinting on them, but for other people sprinting them there. Absolutely phenomenal views. But the sun and all in the background there, I heard you're at 5K today.
We
it's a podcast.
What?
They won't see it, but they take your word for it. It's gorgeous.
I know.
Well, Jen, fairness.
No, I
think
you.
It looks great. I'm missing
you should have me on the video. I'm messing. We are up at the Darndale 5K today, ran by Jay Redmond himself. A couple of the girls from the running club. Actually, it was most of our second race to do with our second medal to even get. So I was delighted to get a good few of them out there to take on. Now, I took on that run since it has started, and it's always been a great event. Jade always has everyone sorted with bags, t-shirts, medals, anything that you name it is there. Like, no one ever goes short of anything. The bags and all are brilliant that he gives out, and it's for nothing as well. So there's about 750 people out there today.
Class.
And it's a great ethos. It's called the Another Way 5K, and for getting people involved in sport. And as Jared told us as a previous guest, getting involved in sport is a really good thing for him. And for a lot of those people to just see a 5K in their area is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's pretty much what you've done in your area as well, isn't it?
That's what we've done. So we had a last event on last Sunday, the 21st of April. So it was probably the fourth or fifth event we have held in the community, but this one was the biggest event that we've ever had. So we've done like more charity events for a young girl that was sick, Rosie's friend and stuff. But the most people we probably would have got at them events was 150. So there was, I can't even count how many people was actually there, but the place was jammed. And Sheriff Street itself is tiny. So like, I had known we had a big crowd coming down, and my nerves were just shattered. Like, it was more so the street is so narrow and tiny that how is all these people going to fit down here? Like, what the hell's going to happen? So I was panicking all week, saying, I hope people actually text me and say they're not coming. I mean, I'd actually get more people like saying, can we come down? Like, even we don't even want the medal. Can we just get involved? And now I got onto the guards and I was like, listen, I gotta have to shut the roads down. I said, because someone is going to die out there. So I'm fair play to them. They did. They're always on board with any event we put on. But I was like, this is huge. Like, there's too many people. But you know what? There was that big of a crowd. The sun. It was the hottest day that we've had since last summer, and it was just unbelievable. Like, the whole place to shine. Everybody, there wasn't one thing that went wrong on the day. There's always something that has to go wrong, and there wasn't one thing that went wrong. Everyone literally helped each other. Like, there's people there. I'd say half of the people that was there, I didn't even know who they were. Like, they were coming up and saying, "Hey, Jennifer, how are you?" and all, and I'm looking at them saying, "I'm sorry, but I have to
Do
be
I owe
honest,
you
I don't
money?
even, I don't even know who you fucking are." Like, and like, they were from new clubs. Like, there was people from everywhere like that came, and like, I was just so overwhelmed that people put the effort into. Like, I turn up to any event, but like, a lot of people don't. They like to stay in their own areas and just do their own, run at their own events. But there was people that had come from so far, and it was just amazing to
You're
see.
probably the first race promoter we've ever heard of that hoped people didn't show up to the event. Me and
I know,
Sean
that's
usually have,
terrible.
I don't really have this problem, but Sean has a serious problem of hoping people will show up to his birthday. Like, never mind the 5K.
I can't relate to this at all. Like,
No, seriously.
What we've described to people, and Jen, what you've done in the community in Sheriff Street, it's absolutely amazing, and it is in the inner city. And those who don't know what it is a tight space, it's a tight community, and you have been doing a bit of running throughout your life, and what we've talked about just there has been an amazing event and something you've built for over the last couple of years, and we'll touch on it again towards the end. But how did you get into running yourself?
I started running. My daughter Rosie, she took sick when she was a baby, so she was born with hydrocephalus. So it's a buildup of fluid in the brain. So the only way to cure is brain surgery. So she has a BP shunt inserted into her brain, so that helps drain the fluid. So when she was 4.5 months, her head was huge. But to me, as a mother, I looked at her, she was a perfect child, she was a perfect baby. But so we ended up in Cumberland Hospital when she was 4.5 months, and like, that's when they said, like, it's literally she's nearly at death. The buildup of fluid is that big, it's causing too much damage to the brain. So they done emergency surgery, and thankfully, Rosie is okay now. She's had four brain operations because the shunts are not they're not 100%, but. So we were told Rosie never walk or talk or live a normal life. So we accepted that after months. But I kind of got very obsessed with Rosie's illness, and everything was Rosie, 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 And I had Jack, and Jack was kind of put out of the picture, But I didn't realise any of that. So it was only I started to understand, what our illness was, and I started to like venture out to see on the internet to see what it is and what it does and stuff like that. So I was going through Facebook one day, and I seen there was a run for a 5K fun run for hydrocephalus, spina bifida and hydrocephalus in Corker Park. And so I contacted the man that was actually doing the run, and he was lovely. His name's Steve, and he actually runs the Jobstown Running Club now. And so I was like, I'd like to get involved. My daughter has hydrocephalus. So his best friend's daughter, Hannah, has spina bifida and hydrocephalus. So we got to meet up with that family, and Rosie and Hannah are now best friends. So, but at that time when we were doing the run, Rosie was walking and she was talking. So Rosie actually proved the doctors wrong. Now, they call her the miracle child anytime she's up in Temple Street, because she shouldn't have had the life that she has now. But thankfully she does. So we went up and we done the run. I actually put it out to all the family. I'd say there was about 50 of us turned up in orange t-shirts, because that's the colour for the spina bifida and hydrocephalus. So there was gangs of us, and we raised a couple of thousand as well. And so it was just on that day. Now, I didn't run. I used to look at people that run and say, what? Like, why do them people do that? Like, they're not normal. Like, I honestly did. Like, I remember saying to my friend, she said, I'm at that running in from the house to a course we're doing. And I said to her, like, why? Like, what the fuck do you get out of that? Like, and she used to look at me as if to say, well, you tell me well done or something, And I'm like, she's a fucking idiot. So me and Rosie were the last ones. I wheeled on the buggy, it was lovely walking around Cork Park. And sure, I had about 10 smokes, like, walking with her in the pram. And I was just like, they're off mad, like, jogging and whatever. Even my dad was jogging. And like, I was like, what the hell? With a wristband thing around his head and all, a sweatband and everything. It was like so. And so it was when we were coming up to the finish line, I took Rosie out of the pram, and I said, right, you can walk up to the finish line. Now there was hundreds of people just in orange t-shirts just looking at me and Rose, you know. And I'm like, oh, like they're all staring at us, like, and I'm like, Rosie, just go up across the line. But as she was walking up to the finish line, something hit me. It was like a ball of emotions, but it was happy, you know. It was like an achievement or something that I felt for her as well, you know. And everyone was clapping, and even I crossed the line, and everyone was hugging me, saying, "Well done, that was great." And I'm like, "I didn't even do that. Thanks very much." Like, and I got a medal. I was like, I got a medal for like having 10.
I must have been slagging all yous off.
Yeah. So it was just after that, and I was chatting to the fella Stephen, and he was like, "January, you should get into doing a bit of running." I was like, "There's not," like I said, don't get me wrong, I feel absolutely amazing for doing that, because I was always the type of person that I always felt I was never good enough for anything. You know, I was always made feel by certain people that I was just a piece of being crap. So I always held that with me growing up, and even up till I had the kids as well. And on that day actually changed me as a person. Like a part of me was very proud of myself for doing that walk, you know, or even getting that medal, you know. And then so it was a couple of weeks after I was at home, and it was about 7 o'clock at night, and I was like, right, you know, I might actually try and do this. So I said, I'll walk out with the estate and I'll go all the way around somewhere where nobody can see me. Now I waited until it got dark, like, as well. And I didn't have Strava. I didn't know anything about Strava or watches or nothing like that. I hadn't got a clue. So I just tried it, and I was walking and jogging, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I mean, I sounded like a 90-year-old granny, like, as I walking up 10 flights of stairs. Like, it was just horrific. And so I was after seeing the Town Warriors, they had a running club up, and I said, you know what, I'll go down and I'll just see what the buzz is. And I went and bought on new gear and hats, and, you know, walking down. I was the luminous pink walking into the club.
Did you borrow your dad's sweatband?
He still has that in his head. So I joined the Town Warriors, and I remember running days. They were like, I was running a 5K, and I was like, 5K, like, what the fuck is a 5K? Like, I said, I'll just do whatever they do. But I was able to, like, whichever way they thought, like, they were like, right, walk, jog, you know, that kind of thing. And now I paid me fee, and I stayed that night, and I never went back, because I was like, I know what to do now. Like, I'll just do it by myself, you know. And I was actually mortified with running with other people. So I eventually just started doing, like, I downloaded Strava and stuff like that when I, like, the run or something, or something like that. And people were like, do join Strava. You know, I got to know other people. My friend Ruth, she does a lot of running as well. And so she had been telling me what to do and stuff like that. So eventually I was running 5Ks without stopping. And then we were in COVID, and I was running a good bit in COVID. But Rosie's friend, Hannah, that has the spinal fluid and hydrocephalus, her mum and dad needed a few bob, you know, to get like a hoist and stuff, because she was getting that bit older. They weren't able to manage. So I was saying, like, what could we actually do, you know, to try and help her? So I said to Rosie, now Rosie does a little bit of running, but she never would have done a full 1K, you know. And I said, do you want to do a 1K a day for 10 days for Hannah, and to raise a few bob? So Rosie was like, yeah, you know, she'd say yeah to Aunt. Like, even on Sunday, I was like, don't run that 5K. She's like, no, I run that, I need the medal. And I said, but I'll give you a medal for nothing. Like, she's like, no, that's just cheating. She's like, that's cheating. So we ended up doing Jordan COVID a 1K a day. And so we were putting it up on the Instagram, and so many people wanted to get involved. But because it was COVID and because Rosie's at risk, we couldn't really let her be around crowds, you know. And then the Inner City Running Club had only set up at the time. And Dwayne and Carl had contacted me and said, listen, can the club run with Rosie on our 9th day? And so I had to tell them, I said, listen, we need to keep it as a limit, not really as a group. So Carl and Dwayne got out with her in the Phoenix Park. We done a 1K loop. So they handed me a t-shirt, and they had got Rosie made a t-shirt as well. And so the t-shirt was put on me back, and that was the end of it. I was joining the Inner City Running Club, like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm in a club now, you know.
Them lads know how to get the crowds in.
Yeah, so and do you know what? I was delighted because so they had a the women's mini marathon obviously wasn't going ahead, and they were doing their own virtual 10K. So I went out. I think it was a couple of weeks after, and we met up with the lads, and we went out and I done the 10K, like, and it was just amazing. Like the two lads dressed up in skirts and all, like it was class. And then from then on,
was it a class that they wore skirts or a class that you did the 10K?
both. No, they made it so much. They made it like we just laughed the whole way through. You know, it was very enjoyable run, and like from then on, I went on and done a virtual half marathon with my brother. We don't know if I spinal bifid and hydrocephalus. Now we're not a bother to him. He plays for Longford, and like he wasn't. I mean, I was at death's door at 20K, and he wasn't even sweating. Like, so we done that during COVID, and then I done a lot of runs. I ended up signing up for Dwayne was doing a virtual. The inner city were doing a virtual marathon. And I was like, fuck it, you know what? It was in the August bank holiday. I'll sign up to do that. But in the month of July, because Hannah, they needed more funds for Hannah for other things, me and Rosie had decided to do a 5K day in that July. So it was like either like every day it was a 5K cycle, a 5K walk, a 5K jog. You know, it was nothing too serious on our body. So that was gone. My ankle was swollen, and I had to run the marathon on the 1st of August. Like, sure, I was still pouncing around with Rosie. So on the 31st of July, we had a big event on the street, you know, for Rosie doing our last day of the 5K. And sure, it was when it was over, I was like, I have to run off a marathon tomorrow. Like, it was like I forgot. I was after forgetting. And Dwayne said to me, I'll never forget the words he said to me. He said, run the half. And I think he knew that girl doesn't even know what she's been doing. Like, and I was like, no, do you know what? I'll do the full. So I was grand. I set out, and like there was a couple of people doing it. I had met my friends Anton and Elaine, so they were like, well, we'll stick with you on the day. And my friend Ruth, she was on the push bike. And I'll never forget it for as long as I live. I was grand up to 18. No, I was on 1K, and I had spare shorts to be bagging here. Now my shorts are rubbing on me and everything. So I was stripping down at 1K into a different pair of shorts.
Did Dwayne give you
Dwayne skirt? He'd kill me for saying that. Shut up. Don't put that part in there. We've been going mad. Only
Let's leave it in. Was the virtual marathon, was this in loops, or was this from point A to point B?
No, this was a route that Dwayne had. Now, I wouldn't even be on my way around my back garden. So thank God them other people with me. They know the routes. They know the roads. Like, it was, I remember just running out by a Holt, I think I was at one stage. And then just coming back in, you know, back in the coast, all around Rings End, like back around Charles Street and all. It was just, I remember at 18K, I seen my cousin and I was like delighted. Look at me, I'm running the marathon. And the minute I left home, I started to sobbing. And I was like, I can't do it. I was just, my head, everything went, the whole body went, the emotion started. And they were like, it's too, like, and I wouldn't eat. I thought you don't eat when you run. And my friend kept saying, will you take a Solvadium? Will you take a fucking thing with salt or something in it?
Yeah,
he's like, the salts are all coming out of your face. I'm running on 18K. So eventually I finished, like I got to the finish line. I was the last one in. I think I was taking the finish line all down again. I got in. And it was like 5.5 hours or so. And I had to go home, get washed, be back up to them flats for the awards because Rosie was receiving an award from them. And I'm not even joking. I'm still traumatized because I do not even how I wash myself. My toenails were still in my stockings, like they were gone. And I was like, what the fuck? But I made it back on time. Like I was walking like I was at there being buggered for months.
Just to get the timeline right in this, you did a half marathon, and then for the month leading up to a marathon, instead of like building your distance to it, and obviously for good reason, you were doing 5K a day. So the first you had done before marathon, so the first you'd done before marathon was that half marathon.
No, I was at that doing. I done a virtual 30K on my own.
Okay, on your own,
and I done it on my own, and that's
with no food.
with no bills, no water. I remember, do you know what I done? I was at me now supporting the lads. They were doing it in the city. I was out at 7 o'clock in the morning supporting the lads. They were doing the what you call that, the wattalon thing or something, is it?
Yeah,
you know, the road, the cycle and thing, right? So me and Rosie was out waving balloons and whatever from 7 o'clock in the morning. And we were knackered. And I remember getting into Ma's house and there was a little square of pizza. I think it was from the day before, to be honest with you, on the plate. And I ate it, right? And I says to me, Ma, I'll be back in a minute. No, I'll be back. Because I said, right, I'll go out and run 5K because I haven't really been running, doing that in my legs. So before I knew it, I was at Holt. Like me, ma, we're in Cherokee. I remember Cherokee. So I was at Holt Pier. And I was like, I have my whole pay. So I said, there's only one way back. So I ran back. Now, no one even rang me phone, like, or nothing to see where I was or nothing, like. And I got back to the house and I was like, oh my God, like, because I knew I had to train a 30K for the marathon. But now I mean, me 2 ankles were like balloons. Like they were gone. I was injured, badly injured. And I had to run with Rosie, like the 5K then for the month. And I still had to do it. Like I went to your man up in Clondalk and Gavin Coker, and he's like, there's no way you're running a fucking marathon. Like your fucking ankles are like elephant's feet. Like, and I was like, no, I have to. If I say I'm running that marathon. So
can I ask, you have your motivation and it's obviously a great motivation. And because like you've said there, you got out, you ended up in Hout, your ankles are the balloon, but you have that motivation of getting Rosie over that 5K every day. And that's the difference, I suppose, in terms of what people say, what gets you into running. You mentioned at the start that you were kind of getting obsessed with the illness. Has it been a great thing for you and your family now that you can share in these events with your daughter?
Oh, it's fun. Like at a stage when Rosie took sick, like my whole family were devastated, you know, and I was lost. And now, like my mom, she's fighting stage 4 cancer at the minute, and she's been bedridden all last week. And she said to me on that Saturday, because the event happens outside my mom's house, and she said to me, Jennifer, I'm fighting off this. She said to sit and look at you tomorrow. She said, be proud. I feel like I'm getting a bit upset now. Oh, sorry.
And look, and they're the things that are really important for people, and it is something that you can be proud of, you know, because and that's the beauty about these community events is, like you've said it there, and to be honest, it was trying to get a word in between what you were saying, but you skipped over the parts where you just said, and this family needed help, so we just ran a half marathon, you know, and then needed help again, so we ran for a month. It's like, me and Sean are looking at here going, actually, come here, I need a new swing set. What are you doing?
And Jennifer goes running again for another month.
Do you know
what? Doing a marathon a day for a month? Oh God!
I do a lot of fundraising. I do a lot of fundraising, and like even the club member or the club committee, right, said they keep looking at me. Like with the last one, we fundraised for the dance school, you know, that needs to go to Prague. But I know that if we put on something, we can get that money for them kids. Like I know if I run a marathon tomorrow, I know people are going to donate, because you don't just go up and run a fucking marathon, you know, like just like if people need things. There's things you can do to help them, you know. Now I keep saying to myself, I need a new phone. So I was like to the committee, can we put on an event so I can get a new phone, get Botox done, you know, get all these beautiful things done to be fucking self that I made. Because like I do all this, all the running club voluntarily, right? And I absolutely love it. Like I'm with Ian. So in January I started with Ian.
That's Ian Fitzgerald, yeah.
That's Ian Fitzgerald, right? And I would never ever put myself first, right? And even in January, like my partner was like, "You're not going to go with another coach and all. You wouldn't listen to someone else, you know. You just do your own little thing with other people." Like I always, like I support the pigeons on the street, like. No, I honestly, if I could get them pigeons to run, I would get them to run. But
John, if you put on an event, you're guaranteed a supporter. You've no say.
I think the pigeons are ahead of the line for me to get that event going. What they need first.
I'd rather go look at pigeons than look at you. To be honest.
No, but in the pecking order, the pigeons are higher than me right now, I think.
Is that mad?
And how is it going with Ian? And what did you think was the difference in getting a coach for you? Because obviously you've made, like me and Sean, and listening to your story, our first marathon was exactly that. We thought, sure, a marathon. Sure, what's that? And we nearly killed each other. We nearly punched the head off each other.
But the Jennifer's credit, she got the 30K. We didn't.
We didn't. We never won.
Never done that.
Ahead of us. No, we never did that part. We're bigger idiots.
But we like you made every mistake because it was running. We buy a pair of runners, we can do it. And what did you think made a difference for you picking up a coach in January?
Well, to be honest with you, like when I was telling people, like I've been watching Ian for a while, right? And
does he wear skirts as well? He didn't mention that.
Ian actually doesn't wear a skirt. Not yet, like not that I know of, but he probably does in his own little time. I know he's going to kill me. Stuff. He
went from winning the 50K race at Dundee to being like overheard in the podcast. You were in a skirt now all of a sudden.
He beat me around.
Podcast, Sean.
So I remember watching Ian. I was watching him for a while, and I was seeing like people's progress. Now I was never one for, I want to get this time, I want to get that time. Like I ran the Dublin Marathon last year and the year before, and I ran it on a high. Like I swallowed about 15 sulfidines. Like I was pain free. Going across. No, I'll be totally honest. Like I had my vape in my hand. I was sucking on my vape for like doing a fucking marathon. But like because I learned from the first one, I knew what to expect from the first one. I ran 50K that December with the Waynes, with the NRC as well. And the 50K, I looked every minute of it. So you know what to expect on the next runs, long runs that you're going to do. But this year I said, all right, it's time I put myself first. It's time that I went for a time at Dublin Marathon. Like my last time, I think was 4 hours, 6 minutes. So like I want the goal to go for 3:45. So I said, the only way I'm going to do that is going with a coach. And when I was watching Ian, I was seeing like so many people progressing and stuff like that. So I'm with Ian since January, and I always thought I knew how to run. Like I always thought I was a great runner. Like I used to just put my runners on and just like that end up in Holt. You know what I mean? Like randomly end up in fucking Holt. Like, but like Ian has me running. Like I'm running 4 days a week, and I swear to God, I'll actually skip out the door when I go up on the run, because I know I'm going to enjoy the run. Like he has me running at a pace where I can talk to people. It's just I love it, and like I'm actually looking forward to see. Like I took a week off there last week because the event and stuff, and like it was the worst thing I ever fucking done, because I had to go back training the other day, and I was running and I was like, and then I'm grand now, but it was like, do you ever get? I was talking to Ian on the phone, and it was like I got a sense of him saying like you're going to be punished for taking that week off. Now he didn't give me a hard session, but it was like, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have took that week off. I should have just kept going. I was on a roll. I was on a ball. Like I was doing the sessions properly. Like he got me back running on the Monday, I think, or the Tuesday, and then he gave me a hill session in the Village Park on Wednesday. And he doesn't even know this, but I actually started sobbing. Like I started crying because my body was trying to get used to back to the running. Now I'm all right now, but we'll see tomorrow. He has me out on a 12K tomorrow, but we'll see.
When did you get that buy-in from Ian? When did you get that buy-in from Ian to be like, okay, for example, today you had the another way 5K, but you didn't run it because Ian said don't run it. When did you get that buy-in and trust with him to do, or did he not say that to you, or was you like race day, different plan, or what? I got that wrong.
Like he sends me list every week, so he hadn't got Saturday on it. Like if I say to him, there's a race on such a day, I'm running it. So when he sent me the plan, Saturday wasn't on it. And I was after taking a week off. So I was like, right, Jennifer, listen, you just have to do what Ian is telling you to do. Even if to go out. Now, sometimes I'd go, like I used to say, here, I'm after jumping on and running that race, There's no point me doing that and not listening to Ian, because the work is not gonna benefit me, or taking a day off. It's not, Ian doesn't give a fuck if I take a day off. That's on me. And I say that to my members as well. Like I get messages every Tuesday and Thursday, sorry, the cat died, or the goldfish is at to jump now, the thing. Like I don't give a fuck. Like, and I'm not, like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I honestly do not care. if that cat is dead, because like that's not like, it's not, I don't care if you don't return to running club, you know, it's on you. You're going to suffer the week later, you know, when we're trying to up the distance, you know.
And
So
on that,
I don't know how you care with the pigeons, not the cat, but I'm kind of hurt over here.
You wouldn't want to be a wildlife around Sheriff Street.
No, the pigeons are safe, but the cats.
Well, on that,
oh,
although from your Instagram, they all look like they have a great time when they go training
no,
with you.
do you know what they do? Yeah, no, they do.
And
No, like today. Oh no, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So where did the idea? Obviously, you were with Inner City Running Club. You obviously have a coach now. You're taking time for yourself, which is right, because
Yeah.
it's been a roller coaster over the couple of years, and dealing with everything you're dealing with at home. So where did the idea of, do you know what, we can do our own running club come from?
So I had been asked to set up a walk to. Now my friend Rachel is she's in the area, and she done a lot of walk in the area, you know, like a lot of groups like for the old folks and stuff like that. And so Rachel had took really sick, and it was a man called Bruce. And people were like who else would actually stand up in the community and stuff like that. And someone said, sure, Jan Buffet was running, like, you know, see what she do. And so I remember he said to me, will you help out with Athletics Ireland with a walk to jog group? So it was like a Change for Life program. A Change for Life program they brought into the community. So I was like, yeah, no, that's grand. Like, I'll just turn up and I just do whatever because there was 2 coaches from Athletics Ireland there. Well, sure, it'd be fine. I knew it. Like, that only went on for 6 weeks. And so I had put it out there on my own social media, you know, for people to turn up. So there was a crowd of people when I turned the corner, like, at the yoga, and I was like, what? And they were all like, it
wasn't Sean's birthday anyway.
God, here we go.
Sean had that birthday. So when I got up to them, they were like, don't even think about asking me to jog and all, you know, all this. And I'm like, I was like, well, like, what am I going to do with all these people, you know? And then so the 2 coaches, I was like, listen, I'm only here to help, you know, this is you, that thing. But no one knew of these 2 people. So it was like Jennifer, you know. So then I was like head of the group, you know, we had them walk and jog. So the 6 weeks were out and people were jogging 5K, you know, the 5K route, like that's what we call that Rosie's route, because that was mainly the 5K route that she was doing. So the walk to jog had to end, and, you know, like Athletics Ireland couldn't do it anymore. Like it was only a 6 weeks thing. So people were loving it, and it was like you could see the difference in people, like even in their smiles, even in the community itself. It was like there was a black cloud over the community, and even to see people running, like there was teenagers jumping in with us on the runs, like even the ones you have to grab, you know, because Sheriff Street isn't a great place for teenagers, you know. So people were like, please just keep it going. So I said, right, listen, I'll keep it going for another couple of weeks, you know, like, and that's it. So the weeks passed, and then like people are like, call it a name, like, and I was like, no, we're not setting up running clubs and all. I said, no way, I haven't got time. I said, we're doing stuff like that. And you're like, but you're here now twice a week, like. So we were putting on, there was events coming up, we were putting on another 5K to fundraise for a little girl called Marley that was fighting cancer at that time. So it was to help Marley to get to Germany. So it was the week. So
our 50th fundraising event that week, was it?
I know. Jesus Christ. That's all I seem to do. So the night before the event, like every event was free. Like that one on Sunday was the first one people ever had to pay for. So every event was free. You just turn up, you give a donation, you know, into the buckets or whatever. Or we got spot prize, we done raffles, you know. We always made it like big. So the night before the run, Rachel, my friends, came over to me and said, I have a present for you. So she took out a t-shirt for me, her, Rosie and Marley, and I had Jennifer's Running Club on the back of them. And I was like, you have your fucking bollocks now. You're trying to roll me into this now. Instead of a running club. And I said, you know what I'm doing? I said, people's going to see that now and saying, look, she has a running club now. I said, no, I'm not wearing the top. So I had to wear the t-shirt, and people were like, oh, that's pretty deadly and all. And, you know, delighted for your new running club. And I was like, I want to kill you when I get you. But, so we are finishing the 5K. I ran with Rosie. And so Rosie was running in front of me, and Rosie got a guarded escort. And it was just, we turned onto Sheriff Street, and like that again, all the people at Sheriff Street, it was like the guard of honor waiting on us to come down the road, like. And so the guard van is in front of us. So Rosie's running in front of me, and I looked at her back, and I seen Jenna was running club on her back, and I said, you know what? I said, maybe it mightn't be a bad idea at all to set up a running club. I said, but I ain't going to be Jennifer's running club. I said, I'm not having my name on something. So I was like, I put it out there on the Instagram. I was like, don't give people like give us a name, you know. But one name I never thought of was Sheriff Street Running Club. Like, I honestly never ever thought of it. Like, I thought someone would have said the Pink Ladies or, you know, something. But it was never a Sheriff Street Running Club. And then it was my friend Rachel. She rang me. She goes, what the fuck are you putting that up on that thing for? And I said, but I need a name, because Alexis Ireland said we couldn't use Jennifer anyways, you know. And I said, I wouldn't have been using my name. Yeah. So they said, it has to be something like a different name. So she rang me. She goes, like, why would you even have to ask that? I call it the Sheriff Street Running Club. And instantly I said to myself, I am not fucking calling that the Sheriff Street Running Club. I said, the name we get as it is. I said, and you want me to put that as a running club? I said, are you for real? Because anywhere I go, if I say, like, wait for, I have to do the IFSC, you know, or like Mariners card, and they're like, no way, actually, like Sheriff Street. The sheriff, you know, rob your pockets and whatever, the rob cars and whatever. And I'm like, there's no way. I said, we'd be slagged for putting that out there. So,
well, have you seen a difference, yeah, when you have a running club and it's called Sheriff Street Running Club, and you see people in their pink t-shirts doing marathons and they're representing. You've talked about the negative side and the side that comes with Sheriff Street and all of that people say about it. You've mentioned, I don't know how many fundraising events that you've done for so many people. There's people in your community coming out to cheer on your daughter crossing the line, to get behind each other. Does it feel like through the running club, whatever it's called, but even now that it's called Sheriff Street, that it in a way is promoting the good that all of you guys are doing?
Yeah. No, do you know what? It was the best thing that I've ever done, like ever put out there with Sheriff Street Running Club, because now, like, we put on a couple of events, and like people have approached me and said, like, Jennifer, honestly, like if someone mentions Sheriff Street to us, we instantly say, oh my God, like the people down there, the crime down there, you know, everything, all bad. And now, like, we have like, I don't know, like, well, I'd say it'd be all right to mention this, but a couple of weeks ago I got a message on Instagram of a new running club, Castleknock Running Club, right? And they had texted me, and I thought it was the nicest thing ever, and said, can we come together and run, you know? And to me, like, obviously people in charity, like, we've like Castleknock, you know, like it's the most beautiful area in the world, you know, and the great people are there. But to be honest with you, like, Sheriff Street is an absolutely unbelievable area to live in. Like, the community, the people in the community themselves are just amazing. Like my mum ended up in hospital when she was sick, and I'm not even joking you. The neighbour came in, took me washing out of the wash basket. The other one was cooking the dinner. You know, someone was buying the messages. You know, at one time, one of them was cleaning the windows. And I'm looking around saying, like, but this is us, you know, this is what we do as a community. Like, and even all the girls in the running club, like, I don't know if you've seen the day of the event, right? And I stood at that event, and all I could do was smile, because what I put in, I said from day one, if I'm setting up this running club, all I want is for people to feel like nobody's to feel better than anyone else in this club. Like, I would never say, oh, sure, I'm in 50k, I'm better than you. I'm no better than anyone else in that club. So, and I said it to him, and I keep reminding him of this same thing. He's are doing this to better ourselves. I said, and to get out for an hour, twice a week. Like, there's no, you have to run that 5k in 20 minutes. You know, there's nothing like that. I don't care if you get a PB. Like, that's good on you, but I didn't ask you to go out and do that. All I want is for you to come out and enjoy yourself. Like, I go out, like, people, even the club members say, like, you've a lot going on, you don't have to turn up. But they don't realise when I turn up David Tuesday and Thursday, that does me the world good. Like, I forget about everything that's going on around me, you know, and they make me feel great as well, you know. And on Sunday, I watched that and I said, this is exactly what I wanted from this club. Every single woman in that club literally supported one another. Like, there was no, there's like, there's never like jealousy or, you know, bitching. Like, they always have the crack. Like, and, like, the youngest is 18 and the eldest is 67. You know, and no matter what, they're still doing the same distance, you know, as well. Like they're all training now for the women's mini marathon. So like they're looking at me going, 10K, I'm not running 10K. You should be running 7K the other night. I said to him, right, I'm taking on a new route, and I was supposed to do a 40-minute run by Ian. So I said, you know what? I texted Ian. I said, listen, I'm going to take the girls on a new route, but it was 40 minutes. And I knew it was a 7K. But I was like, no, listen, well, literally, it's only about 5.5, 6K, it'd be grand. Like, and we laughed that much. Like they went, I don't know if you've seen the video. Sorry, like they were singing that everywhere you go, people always ask us going to preview. Like they didn't realize that they were on 6K, 6 and a bit K. Like to them, they didn't like. And then when we got to Sheriff Shield, like that's grand, we're actually doing 7.5 it was, and they were like, we done 7.5K. Like I said, but you still feel it because you're on China, you're having fun, you know. So like it's just amazing. Like when I stood out there on Sunday. And I was just saying how amazing they were and how supportive. I said this is exactly why I do what I do. This is why I volunteer, because everybody just out there just should feel good in themselves and support each other. Like I just sometimes when I watch competitive people and you know thinking they're better than everyone else, I don't agree with it. Everyone is running for the same reason. Like, I'll be totally honest, I run away with my problems, you know, my everyday problems. And if running works for me, then that's fine. Like, you know, we're all out there trying to do the same.
And that's what we do. I go running so I can keep eating cheesecake and chocolate. Otherwise, I'm going to have other problems. But, and not to take away from what you said, Jennifer, and it's for those who haven't seen, we do recommend go onto the Sheriff Street Instagram page and have a look at the crowds that appeared from a lady who was pushing her daughter on a walk a couple of years ago to starting a run, ending up in Holt, swollen ankles, to hundreds upon hundreds of people showing up to support the effort you're doing. And where did they show up to do it? In Sheriff Street, the place where I said has a bad name, but it's starting to change. And it's starting to change because of great people like you, the great community you've built. The women are having a great time, and you are an idol to them. And as you correctly said, you rely on them as much to get you down. And
definitely.
It's absolutely fantastic to keep an eye on what you guys are doing. So we don't want to keep you sitting out in the park.
I know, freezing, and I'm in a pair of blue shorts. I think
I'm the woman and the boy, not you.
Spiders eat me.
I've got one of the lads' skirts on. It's too hot over here. But what's coming next? Bring it in. So obviously there's two sides to you. You're getting a coach, you're going for Dublin Marathon, you've said your time. So what's next for you personally? Is it just Dublin Marathon? Is there anything else? And what's next for the club?
Well, my only goal for this year, like is Dublin Marathon. Like I've done the Dublin Marathon a couple of times. So this time I like to go for time. Now it's me personally, like I help people along the way. So if I want to go for time, I need to jump over them bodies that's lying on the ground. But I find it very hard to pass people. That's suffering, you know. Like if someone is there and I'll be like, come on, like let's go, I'll wait with you and I'll get you to the finish line. So that's my only problem. I have to be selfish on the day of the Dublin Marathon, which is going to be really tough, you know. Like Ian said, Jennifer, you need to just think about yourself out on races. Like I was doing the run in the Phoenix Park, and he had me down for PB. You know, the thing I'll be watching. It's like, right, I said I won't help anyone, and I swear to God I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I have to drop dead. I couldn't do it. I said, no way could I pass these people. I said, we're dying out there, and it was only a 5K, but I just. And I'm well known for that. Like, you know, like that's how I made a lot of friends and in a lot of other running clubs, because I would stay. I talk to anybody out on a run. You know, if I see someone struggling on a run, I don't care. I'll go back and I'll stay with you and I'll get you. Like, but that's the only biggest fear is helping someone on the day of the Dublin Marathon. So I need to put things on the side of my eyes so I can't see it, and I just keep running forward.
You should make a little deal with yourself, cross the line, get your medal, and then run back and get them.
And then go back and get them. Swinging the medal. Woo! I know I will. I'll just drag them up off the ground.
And what's what is next in terms of your fundraising? I'm sure there is plenty to come. And what's next for the club?
But the club, like, we just take day by day, week by week. One thing I would love is to go abroad and do a run, even if it's a 5K. I have never went to abroad to do a run. The furthest I went was and I think that's only a mile or something, is it? That's the furthest. The furthest I've ever went.
Passport to leave Dublin.
It was like going to another part of the world, like, and I'm like looking around as farmers and the sheep and the fucking. I was like, what the hell? How the fuck did I end up down here?
Looking at Sean.
But that's one thing for the club. I'd love to take them away, and do, even if it's a fundraise over in fucking Barcelona or something, just to get them there. We don't charge, we've no money, you know what I mean? So we'd have to do a fundraiser to get us over to somewhere, But it'd be nice for the community, for the club, for all the hard work they put in. So that'd be something we look into next year now. So they're doing the Women's Mini Marathon this year, and then we've a couple of them are already talking about the half marathon in September, I think it is, the one before Dublin Marathon. So we've already a couple of them talking about half. So I just leave them and let them talk about it. So I'm delighted. So we will be there at the half, and they will cross the line. So, but there'll be no marathons. I'll be the one doing the marathon this year, but next year maybe they'll be marathon ready. But this year it's all about enjoying it and finding that pace, as well.
And the beauty is, Jennifer, you're getting coaching. And what
I'm getting coaching as well, so it's great. Everyone's
going to learn the things you as well, and the tips and tricks we passed on. And Ian has been a guest on the podcast, and a great coach, and he's doing great things. And what you guys are doing and ladies are doing is absolutely amazing. It's an inspiration to a community. You're getting involved. You're putting yourselves out there. You're helping each other out to just do it through sport, and it's the best thing in the world to see. We have loved watching all of the work you've been doing over the last couple of months, and we were delighted you were able to come on. And anything we can do as a podcast to help you out in the future, we're more than happy to do it. And keep an eye. Yeah. You might even get Sean in for a run, get him off the farm.
Oh, come on, Sean. He'd be alive.
Someone finally talk to you. I'm struggling the race. This would be great.
Sean, he'd be alive. It'd be like dogs in heat. We get him into that club.
I don't know. Bombshell.
Did you all get PBs chasing after you?
I'll tell you what, if I come home at some point for a 5K, me and Sean will do it in a skirt.
Not you set up your own challenges, Eric. You set up your own challenges.
I'll do it in a skirt. Sean hasn't got the legs for it. But again, thanks so much for everything. We really hope your community grows from strength to strength over the next little while. It's been absolutely lovely to have you on the podcast. We hope we will chat to you more about your marathon adventures, and we might get you on again towards the end of the year, and we see how everything has gone for you.
Brilliant.
I won't see you in the Dublin Marathon this year, but it's been fantastic. Keep doing the great work you're doing. And for those who are interested in any of the work they're going to do or any of the fundraising to get behind it, please, Sean will link it into the notes. Good man, Sean, the only man running this podcast. And but that is everything. Jen, have you anything left to say for your lovely ladies and your community?
No, Sean, I think I covered everything. Sean, I can't even know. I just want to say a massive I'm just stuck to the ground. I just want to say thanks so much for having me on and listening to me talking, because I don't stop. And we appreciate you that support as well to the club, and I'll definitely let the girls know. I'm sure you'd be delighted to hear the podcast as well. So thanks so much, both of you.
Great having you on, Jennifer. That is it for myself, Jennifer, and Eric. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.